Hall. I'm sorry, those who are not INASL members may have to spare us for maybe an hour or so. This general body meeting is only for INASL members. वो एक क्या हमारा वो कुछ प्रिंट आउट दिए इसने एजेंडा के ठीक मैं पूछता हूँ कुछ है तो इसमें डिस्प्ले कर नहीं डिस्प्ले नहीं करता वो गौरव के पास प्रिंट आउट है डॉक्टर SP सिंह गौरव वो प्रिंट आउट्स दे दो ना यार Dr. Pankaj, please come on this side. Hello. Can somebody close the door for us? Request only INASL members to be in the hall, please. Request only INASL members to be in the hall for the general body meeting. ये ले लो आपको भी चाहिए वो बोलता हूँ
Good evening. I welcome you all to this general body meeting of INASL today. I would request our Secretary General, Professor Duseja, to conduct the meeting.
Thank you, sir, and good evening, everyone. So we have a short agenda, and unless somebody else has any other agenda, obviously we'll take that at the end. So quickly starting with some of the governing council activities during this year, which I had highlighted yesterday in my secretary's report. Starting from all the academic activities, including the annual conference, which is happening now, the midterm meetings, and the various other INASL clinics, and the various other endorsements, the guidelines, and all that. So I will not be repeating those here. So we'll straightway go to the next agenda, which was the new members of the association. In total, we've had close to 131 new members in last 1 year. The forms and everything have been scrutinized. They have been found to be eligible. And the list obviously would be declared, and the Governing Council has also approved that. So this last 1 year we have really had a good jump in the number of INASL membership, and this is because of some of the activities which we had planned only for INASL members. May it be applications for the oral sessions like plenary and young investigator, applications for various bursaries. So the precondition had to be that you have to be the INASL member. Secondly, I had again displayed the list of the fellows of INASL of this year. The 14 members of INASL, as per their applications, again have been found to be eligible and have been elected as fellows of INASL. Again, the names were listed and they will be informed individually also. So the next agenda, I'll request our immediate past president, Professor P.N. Rao. There were 2 posts of the Governing Council members this year for which the electronic voting was held. And Professor P.N. Rao was the electoral officer for that. And the elections were conducted as per the constitution, and he will declare the results here.
Welcome to you all. Elections were held online without any, everybody voted without any fear or favor, right? Okay. Right. There were 6 applicants were there and 1 withdrawal, and out of the rest of the 5 applicants, 2 have been declared. One is Dr. Ashok Chaudhary. Please welcome Dr. Ashok Chaudhary.
Ashok Chaudhary, are you there? Dr. Ashok Chaudhary, he was there outside. Please see Deepak if he is there.
And next is Dr. Piyush Ranjan. Please welcome.
Piyush Ranjan, are you there? Congratulations. Welcome to the Governing Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Again, I had mentioned yesterday about some of the new initiatives which INASL is planning, and to inform you that the Governing Council has again approved that in addition to the 3 orations which are held and organized every year in the annual meeting of INASL, we would be starting another oration in the name of Professor B.N. Tandon, and this will be called as Professor B.N. Tandon Memorial Oration. The Governing Council has also approved to start an award for the people working in the field of community hepatology, and this would be based on the citations and the impact factor of that publication in last 3 years. The INASL Governing Council has also approved to set up a young hepatologist forum within the INASL, which will be a force of the young people, young faculty who are INASL members to help the Governing Council in various activities. Next, I have written if Dr. Anand is here, if he wants to make anything on the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Hepatology. We need to congratulate him, the present editor-in-chief, and the past editor-in-chief, Professor Dhiman. That journal now has an impact factor of 3. The opening impact factor of 3 has been obtained by the journal. So thank you very much, sir, Professor Anand and Professor Dhiman, and all the members of the editorial board, and all those have been associated with the journal, and the contributors and authors and everybody. Thank you very much. Dr. Anand, is he there? No. Okay. So next is about the INASL accounts, and for this I will request Dr. Pankaj Puri, our treasurer, to show us the figures.
Can I have the presentation, please? Deepak?
Presentation.
This is the financial year for the year 2022-23. Next. So the agenda will be what's the current balance, what have we spent in the last year, some INASL meetings that we had hosted and what are the expenses for that, the staff salaries. I'm going to apprise the hall of the income tax case which is going on, and there's a huge demand on income tax for the society. And I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on in the progress and the status of that. Next. So our balance is currently healthy, but a lot of expenses are going on, and I'm sure the current committee is being careful, and we are going to save some money out of this. And I think my job is to be like Uncle Scrooge and look at it very carefully. Next. last year, next slide, these are grossly the expenses, and if you look at the bottom, the total expenses were 2.34. Some of it was directly billed, and the actual expenses from us were about 1.93. Next slide. Just go back to the previous slide if people want to look at it. Next slide. So this is the income which has come. These are the various sources of the income which has come from various pharma industries. Next, we must thank them for that. And the total expenditure was 1.93, and we have saved about 98.98. Thank you, and I must say, good job done there. Next. So these are some of the other meetings which are going on, and these are the expenses and where the sources of income is coming from. INASL has commenced a new series of INASL clinics on HCC, which has covered 6 cities across the country. The first one is in Calcutta. The second was at Chandigarh. The third meeting took place in Bangalore. And we have 3 meetings which are planned in Ahmedabad, Srinagar, and Kochi in the upcoming months. These are all supported by a grant from Roche of 36 lakhs, which is the amount coming, about 6 lakhs per meeting. INASL also organized liver clinics by Patrick Kamath, and this is entirely sponsored by Sun Pharma, and the entire money for that will come and received by, we will not spend from our pocket. INASL has thirdly started a series on CME programs on NFLD, the physician's perspective. The first meeting was organized on 16th of April, and there are 3 meetings, and the full amount will be sponsored by Zydus Healthcare. So these are 3 new initiatives, and all the money is not going out of our coffers. Next. These are some of the other expenses. A lot of it are the CA expenses, the website maintenances, and the publishing cost for the Elseviers. These are our costs, except for one, number 2, the others will be yearly expenses. Next. This is the staff which are going. There are 2 staff. One is Deepak, who's doing an outstanding job, and Subranjan Das. These are the 2 staff of the society. Next. So this is an important thing which I thought as INASL members, everybody should be aware. We have had a huge outstanding demand. So I'm going to give you a little background of this. We had applied for exemption of income tax on the grounds of Section 12A. There was a ruling that the demand has to be, the exemption should be granted within 6 months. And if it's not given in 6 months, it's deemed as registered. So Supreme Court had given a ruling that if INASL could continue to give tax exemptions as deemed registered. This issue had come up in the year 2011-2012, and subsequently we were claiming exemptions on that ground. Now for the year 2018-2019, the income tax officer has again raised a query and disallowed the exemption, saying that INASL is not registered, and given us a huge demand of 1.36 crores with the interest and total outstanding of 1.88. This is going to wipe out what we have really if we have to land up paying that. Just when we are about to file it, Supreme Court has given another ruling which has overturned its previous decision on deemed registered. So the remedy available to INASL is to file an appeal before income tax, because we have subsequently got exemption also saying that we are registered. The consultations were taken. The appeal has to be filed in Cuttack because that's where our file is. And a previous CA, Mr. Keshav Dubey, who was involved earlier as well in the case, who was instrumental in filing it earlier, is again being taken on board. But to be able to file the complaint, we have to pay almost 20-30%. So amount of 26 lakhs we have paid upfront. If the claim is passed, this amount will come back to us. Otherwise, it's going to go forward to whatever this amount which we have to pay. As of now, we are hopeful that it will be in our favor, and we are committed to following whatever the guidance is given to us by a CA to protect our interests, and we are hoping for a favorable outcome. But it's still pending in court, and this is something we are awaiting. Next. So these are the sort of expenses which are going on in this year, and this is an ongoing process, and I've just given sort of the expenses which have been made till 24th of July, and of course there are some more payments which have been made subsequently. Next slide. So this is the income from membership drive, about 9.33. We have got a huge new load of members which has come in, and we are happy for that. Next slide. To summarize, bank balance has grown, but we are concerned on the income tax, and we are fighting that in court. We've had a good membership drive, and we are committing to supporting a lot of fellowship and bursaries, and a lot of the new initiatives which we have done and new clinics we have started, they are not going out of our coffers, and we are hoping to spread hepatology through that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj, for taking us through all the accounts of the INASL in the last 1 year. So the next is, yes sir, please go ahead.
So far as I understood, our society was not registered initially. So there was a delay in...
No, in the year 2008, we had applied for registration.
Okay.
They are supposed to say yes or no within 6 months. If they don't say yes within 6 months, there was a Supreme Court ruling saying that it is deemed as registered. And we have been filing it on the basis of that. And those were the rules at that stage. In the last year, Supreme Court has overturned its previous ruling, saying that deemed registration is not valid.
Okay, so looks like there was some flaw initially, and somebody should have followed it up. If they are not responding, reach them again.
So that has gone on then. They have not responded. On the basis of that, we have, this is going on for last donkeys of years, and this is something which has been, there was a ruling to that effect from the Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court has overturned its own rulings, we can't.
They will try to...
We have got exemption for 12 years. For 12 consecutive years, we were continuing to get exemption because of High Court rulings and Supreme Court rulings.
And now
all of a sudden, one income tax officer creates problem, and unfortunately at the same time, you have a Supreme Court ruling which said that now we are overturning our own decision of allowing everyone. So that
the best
created the problem.
Best way in such a situation is try to find out who is the income tax officer and then reach him. Because the same thing happened with me. My society, they did not give the exemption. Then I came to know that this is the income tax officer.
Sir, I have you have 21 lakhs for my foundation. It's a separate foundation, and I have managed it recently. We are also, we can't discuss everything here.
Okay.
But we are trying our best, but it is not in our hands.
Sir, one thing I'd like to add, Dr. Pankaj sir, forming a society in India is the most difficult task. We have been doing that. I have registered it for my state also, for the state of Uttarakhand. I know how difficult was it. It took 7 years. You have to keep a low profile. Their offices, they don't allow you to enter their office. The point is, deemed register is nothing like that. They have been fooling us only on that grounds कि 6 months में आपको मिल जाएगा. No, it is not so, sir. It is not like कि यदि your CA Act है तो मिल जाएगा, उसमें नहीं होता. You have to follow it very clearly. Number 2 is that to get an income tax exemption certificate, as we are running a corporate hospital also, we need to see one thing that, from the Ministry of Finance, Government of India, they are giving us the income tax exemption certificate for lifetime thing, which has to be renewed after 5 to 7 years every time by paying a very nominal fee. But initially, you have to, grease their hands before getting anything.
See, Dr. Agarwal, subsequently we have got we have subsequently applied and we have got the registration.
Otherwise, this
exemption.
amount of 1.9 crores, in fact, is a phenomenal amount which one has to pay.
Yes.
Just one small query.
Now we have exemption, but we can only apply and follow up.
Sir, I was
The rest you know how easy and
small
difficult.
query. It was assessment year 18-19 and the ruling has come in 2022. So will it be applicable retrospectively? Usually rulings are prospectively they applied in ensuing years.
I know that fully well, and we have been trying on all those things, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way in the courts today. I think I can't speak beyond that. I'm sorry.
Sir, one submission to the humble team of INASL dignitaries. Whenever you get a life membership, does it has to be renewed? Because it is showing on the portal this thing now that your membership is getting expired. So I just need a clarification on that, sir.
Okay, I think this is before this present governing council, the president and the secretary took over, there was a decision taken by the previous governing council that rather than having only one-time membership fee, there would be a renewal which would happen every 5 years, right? And an amount was fixed for that, and then it was also decided that those beyond 65 will not pay, this will pay, who will ever pay, right? So this is a written thing which was approved by governing council, and I'm presuming this must have been approved in the general body also. It was. So now the issue what happened was when we were trying to apply this ruling and we went on to our records, unfortunately, for many of the members, we were not very sure which year they actually became members and whether they have already close to 5 years, 10 years or whatever, right? So we have dropped that idea for the time being, and we are not asking for any renewal till our records are set. Our coordinator, Deepak, is looking into that, and as and when the records are set, and then once we are sure, at least for prospective, as I said, once we took over as governing council, we know that in last 2 years, 3 years, who has become member when. So we know when will they complete their 5 years. But I'm talking about the previous member, there was some issue, we are trying to sort it out. Till that time, there is no renewable which is required, and everybody stands as life member. Thank you. I think before I go on to the last two agendas, I think I've not written here, but then we have to say a big thank you to the local organizing committee of INASL 2023. I think the kind of effort they have put in, the kind of show they have put in, the hospitality, the everything, I think it's marvelous, and I think the other, subsequent meetings are probably going to have, to match this standard. But then I must say, I think Dr. Manoj Sahu, who's the local organizing secretary, is he here? The organizing chairperson is also the president of INASL, Professor S.P. Singh, and their whole team, Dr. Sushant Sethi, Dr. Manas Panigrahi, and Dr. Preetham, and everybody. They have a group of 20 people, which I said yesterday, they call it as G20. And I think before we go on to, the 2024,
We had a huge responsibility because last few years we had, we had COVID, and then after COVID we had a conference in which the footfall was less, not that much. And that, said, when we went for, funding of this meeting, we had a problem. Okay. People thought, only, last time only so many people had attended, the attendance was not that much. So it was our duty to see to it that in this conference we had a good attendance, good footfall, so that the future conferences will not have the problem. And I think we have succeeded in that. And that is why a few pharma companies who had not participated that well, one of them came today and, apologized that, okay, we are very sorry and I have written to it, वो समझते नहीं दिल्ली में कि कैसा है, and I have seen the whole thing, I have taken pictures, recorded everything, and I have sent it to them. Next year we will participate in a big way. So I think it will be easier for you with this meeting to get funds, easier than what it was for us.
Thank you. I think the other thing which we forgot when we announced the elections, I must tell you, the two new members, is Dr. Ashok Chaudhary there now? No. Yes, welcome to the Governing Council. You have won the elections, and Dr. Piyush Ranjan. But two of the Governing Council members are completing their term, and we have to say again thank you to them. One of them is Dr. Subhash Gupta, if he's there, and the other is Dr. Sunil Dadij. Thank you very much. for your contribution towards INASL. Thank you very much. So the next agenda is the INASL 2024 meeting, and this we know is happening in Kochi, and we have the organizing chairperson and the organizing secretary with us here, Professor G.N. Ramesh and Professor Charles Panekal, both are here. So I'll request them to tell us about the next year's meeting.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for the opportunity. On behalf of the GI and Hepatology Fraternity of Kerala, it's my proud privilege to extend to you all a very warm invitation for our next annual conference, INASL 2024, to be held at Cochin from August 7th to August 10th. I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity that is given. Many of you were a part of our National Gastroenterology ISG that took place in Cochin 3 years back, and I'm sure you're carrying back good memories of the same. So I'd like to welcome you all back to God's own country, to a venue which many of you have experienced, the Lulu Convention Center located on the island of Bolgati. The venue is going to be the same, and I can promise you on behalf of the entire organizing committee that we will leave no stone unturned to ensure that you have a very good and satisfying academic experience. Dr. S.P. Singh and his team have set the bar quite high, and INASL 2023 has been a revelation of sorts. But I can also tell you that we will try our best to at least meet, if not better, the standards set by them. Over to the organizing secretary, Dr. Charles Panekal, for a few words and the short video presentation.
Thank you, sir, and there's nothing more to add. I welcome you all to Cochin in 2024 on behalf of INASL and the Indian Society for Gastroenterology Kerala chapter. We have a short video to play. Can we have the video, please? Thank you, and once again welcoming all to Cochin in 2024. Looking forward to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you. We're already there.
And don't forget to experience the unique water metro and keep it on the bucket list.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So 2023 is almost done. 24 is decided, but we still need to decide for 2025 now. So for 2025, this year we had asked for applications, and there are 3 applicants for this. One is from PGI Chandigarh, second is from MGM Jaipur, and third is from Dr. B.D. Goswami Guwahati. So we had 3 applications. So obviously the general body has now to decide that where would the 2025 meeting be held. So for that, since this is everybody, no one has withdrawn the application, so we will have the presentations from each one of the applicants, and then the general body will decide that where 2025 meeting will be held. So anybody from Guwahati, do we have? Dr. Goswami is not there. Okay, you're there. Okay. Oh, please do that. Have you given your presentation?
So, good evening everyone. So, it's a pleasure to be here, and again, pleasure to be for the first time. So, I am the youngest one here, most probably the youngest bidder. Slides on.
Are these slides?
Few slides I will show you.
Do you all need the presentations, or we just decide like that?
So I welcome you on the south bank of Brahmaputra from Guwahati. It's the gateway of the northeast. So why northeast? We have a good auditorium, especially in the medical college. It's having a capacity of more than 2,000. And we have few more halls like Maniran Diwan Trade Mill, where we have say 2-3 rooms for making few halls more, ABC. So stay-wise, we have 2-3 good big hotels like Kiranshri is having a capacity of more than 1,500 capacity with, Radisson is still there with Novotel there, and air connectivity is fine. Almost it's connected to every city in the, all the big cities connected by direct flights. So beauty of Northeast, why Guwahati? You can have feeling like this. You don't need AC. It's, Cherrapunji, Mawsynram. These are the rainiest places in the earth. And weather is almost like 25 to 30. So we are 7th state with more than 70 tribes, more than 700 languages, and we have beauty in every part. So we are all connected. So Guwahati is the gateway. So it's a diversity and still united. You can see what's our main attraction is the tea, Assam tea. The biggest tea gardens are there, and it possesses more than half of the nation teas. You have lovely adventure things there like Kaziranga, Povitara, Manas. We have wildlife capitals. You see only one-horned rhino in the world, only place in the world. So we are now getting waterways ready. We have the biggest river island in the world is Majuli, and the waterways are getting bigger and bigger. So this is the place Tawang, the sun rises in Tawang. So India's first sunrise comes for this place, unique place. It's neighbor to China, almost you can enter China from here. So that's why I will bid Shillong, together Shillong and Guwahati I am bidding together, and I will tell you this is the main Shaktipit in the country, in the world I can tell you. This is the most powerful temple in the country. So we have already done the INASL 2012, and we also have done the SASL 19. So I will welcome you all to explain the land of rising sun and vast diversity. So I am projecting myself as the General Secretary, Organizing Secretary, and Dr. Rang Singh, thank you as the President for this meet.
Thank you very much. Can I request the Jaipur team, sir, who's going to present? Thank you.
To the office bearers of INASL, to the entire general body of INASL, and I'll try and tell you why in the next few minutes. I think that Jaipur will be probably the best destination for INASL 2025. We have excellent venues. Many of you who have been there to the recent ISG meeting in January would be familiar with the convention center that we hosted the meeting at. The Jaipur Exhibition and Convention Center has 4 very large halls and spaces. I think each one of them can accommodate more than 1,000, 1,500 places, much larger than what is the usual attendance at INASL meetings. So JECC is one of the convention centers which is very well equipped to execute a world-class meeting. Similarly, many of you have been to this venue, the Birla Auditorium, where the ISG meetings were held in 2004, 2012, and also the SGI meeting in 2008. This has a large capacity and auditoria for multiple halls and settings, and is in the center of the city. My hospital where I work, the Mahatma Gandhi Hospital, also has a very large auditorium. Some of you who came to Jaipur for the midterm INASL meeting earlier this year in April would have seen the place. It has a seating capacity of about 1,200, and as well as there are multiple other halls. So we have no dearth of good quality venues. Now, when you come to a meeting, I think the first and foremost you look for is top scientific quality, the kind of meeting that we have had this time in Bhubaneswar, and most INASL meetings have met that benchmark of high academic quality. Now, in terms of academic quality, I have no doubt that we will do equally well, if not better, in 2025, because the central organizing team of INASL is sitting here. The brains trust is going to be, I think, Professor Dhiman, Professor Duseja, and wherever the meeting is held in Jaipur or in Chandigarh or in Timbuktu, the quality of scientific content of the meeting is going to be ensured by the governing council. What we have to offer you in Jaipur is one of the most experienced teams in organizing medical meetings. As I said, we have held multiple ISG meetings, SGEI, and one in INASL when the governing council of INASL conducted the meeting in 2014. Or many of you would have visited Jaipur on various occasions and experienced the unique and very warm hospitality, the personal attention that is given to all delegates, and the personal care that is taken by the senior organizers, people like Professor Ramesh Roop Rai, the current president Sandeep Nijhavan, Professor S.S. Sharma is here, and a large number of very experienced organizers will make sure that the personal touch, the warmth and the hospitality is something that you will always remember Jaipur for. Jaipur is the city of forts, palaces, temples and shopping options. So in the pink city of Jaipur, the fort that you can see is the Amer Fort. You have a sound and light program that is very historical and very attractive at the Amer Fort. Nahargarh Fort and Jaigarh Fort are places where day trips can be held within the city and can be organized. You don't have to go to remote corners of the state as you would in Guwahati, where the venue is right here in the city. We have palaces, the Jai Mahal, the Jal Mahal, the Rambagh and the City Palace, which is spoiled for choice. In fact, many of your dinner venues are going to be in either places like Rambagh Palace or Jai Mahal Palace, where you will get really the feeling of royalty and luxury in the milieu and the setting. The Hawa Mahal is the iconic building with which we identify Jaipur, and the entire old city lives up to its name of the Pink City, where all the buildings are within the walled city are pink in color. Of course, temples, a large number of temples, the Moti Dungri temple, the Birla temple are famous, and there are many, many other temples within Jaipur and within easy driving range from Jaipur. The jewelry market in Jaipur, the gold and the diamond markets, I think for people, for the ladies in the family who would be interested, it offers a unique opportunity to visit and do your shopping, including handiwork and handcraft meetings, so that while the men folk are busy with academics, the ladies in the entourage do not feel deprived and they have a lot of things to do. Within driving range, within few hours of Jaipur, you have some of the best natural reserves in the country, Ranthambore and Sariska and the Keoladeo Bird Sanctuary, which can easily be visited. And of course, within a few hours, you have cities like Ajmer with its the Pushkar Lake, Udaipur as well as Jodhpur, where you can satisfy your tourist wishes to the limit. So, ladies and gentlemen, not only is Jaipur part of the Golden Triangle of tourism in India, Delhi, Agra and Jaipur, it is central in location, it is very well connected to all leading cities of the country and internationally, with multiple flights coming in. Recently, an excellent highway from Delhi has been opened, which takes barely 2.5 hours or 2 hours. Many of you who came for the Jaipur meeting in April would have driven down this highway, and it takes you about 2.5 hours once you hit the drive to reach the NCR. We have multiple well-equipped convention centers, large hotels, as befits a city that is a tourist destination for the world. And as I mentioned, we have organized a lot of conferences where the hospitality has been memorable, the cultural events, the cuisine, all of it are things that you would look forward to and you would enjoy, the Rajasthani hospitality and the food. So all in all, I say, ladies and gentlemen, it is an ideal venue for our national conference, and I look forward to welcoming all of you to INASL 2025 in Jaipur. Thank you very much for your attention.
So good evening, all of you. To tell you, we are the third bidders for INASL 2025, and we don't have any presentation. Our presentation is just two of us, Department of Hepatology, PGI Chandigarh. That is our. We are here only to say.
You are not two.
No, we are saying the whole department is here.
There are many.
The whole department is here. We are bidding it as a Department of Hepatology, PGI Chandigarh for INASL 2025, and 2-3 other issues. One is the last INASL meeting in Chandigarh was held in the year 2011. After that, INASL has not happened. Rather, Chandigarh has not happened any big meeting, whether it's ISG, INASL, SGI. Whereas other cities, I think I don't need to say when was the last meeting held in Guwahati, Jaipur or elsewhere. That is number one. Second is we wanted to do as governing council, during my tenure, we wanted to do a meeting in Chandigarh while we were in office. So I thought last time also we had sent in our application, but then we lost it to the Kochi. We accepted that. But this is our humble request this time. Please give this to Chandigarh. And we will do best. I don't think we need to say anything on the academics. You have seen us working for last few years. We don't have to tell you anything about the venue. We don't have to tell you any attractions about Chandigarh. Only attractions are the Department of Hepatology, PGI Chandigarh. Thank you very much. Please, after this, we'll have the vote, show of hands, and you can decide where you want to go.
Ajay, can I make a point?
Sure, please.
I think I I'm also the governing council member of SGI. I think show of hand in a situation like this is embarrassing.
No, please. Okay, you completed, then
Yeah.
we'll come down to it.
I think it's important then we have a fraction of the people who comprise the total GBM, and why not put it to the vote?
Let
You
me
see,
ex-
all are our friends, and show of strength, I think is not a fair thing.
Let me respond to that. We have discussed this yesterday in the Governing Council meeting, and the Governing Council has decided that this, as the Constitution, the decision is taken in the general body. So unless we change that Constitution, we will have to decide in the general body. So I think, but then somebody said if there are not enough members in the general body, then the Governing Council member, Professor Randhi, they said, then it means it is not the general body if there are not enough members. If it is general body, the general body has to decide.
I would like to add here, exactly the same thing was decided in the Endocon also, in the SGI Governing Council meeting, because a big debate going on whether everybody should vote online or should it be decided in the general body. And everybody said it has to be decided in the general, body because it is the
Thank you
most
so much.
powerful.
Thank you. So can we have the show of hands? I'll not, because there is a conflict of interest. So I'll request the president to get the show of hands.
So I will go by, the presenter list. First was Guwahati, second was Jaipur, and third is Chandigarh. So first for Guwahati, people who want that it should be held in Guwahati, please raise your hands.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6,
7, 8, 9.
9. 9, okay. Now people who want that the conference be held in Jaipur, please raise your hands.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16. Okay. 17. हाँ, okay, 17. दो हाथ उठा दिया क्या? कोई भरोसा नहीं है भाई. हाँ. Now people who want that the meeting be held in Chandigarh, please raise your hands. I think it is very clear that Chandigarh वाले जीत गए. बहुत सारे हाथ में गिनना मुश्किल है. मैंने किसी को हाथ नहीं उठाया. न्यूट्रल.
Thank you very much.
So congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
PGI Chandigarh. Congratulations.
So I think we come to the end of this today's GBM, but if there's any other agenda by the Governing Council members or by any members of INASL, you're most welcome to come and.
I think that vote was overwhelming response to Professor Ajay Duseja's, unstinted work in the field of INASL. So I think should give a big round of applause. So. And I've been in ISG and SGI and all those governing bodies over the past 30 years, and I see that one of the most organized and the most efficient body is INASL. So once again, congratulations for such a wonderful work. And last but not the least, let me just propose at least give a midterm INASL to Coimbatore. If not, I'm not going to ask you for annual because so many people are contesting, but at least give a midterm to us. Thank you.
So I think midterm is not an issue at all. I think you just write to the Governing Council and Governing Council obviously will give it to you. Thank you so much. Any other agenda or any other issue because we had time till 8 o'clock and I think the music is waiting upstairs. If none, thank you very much for attending today's meeting and we see you join us for the musical evening and the dinner upstairs.